Hey everyone, this is Jose. We are about to start, like 25 seconds or so. Please go ahead, as always, give me a quick yes, hello, give me a quick text in the chat box. That would be to confirm that sound is good. So this is a sound check. Please give me a little hello on the chat box and we will begin. Wonderful. Here we go. Irwin, hola. Very good. Very, very good, everyone. Okay, so let me maximize the introduction slide so we can have our session launched properly, and we will begin with the trading, okay? So welcome to the session, my friends. Today is August 9, 2019, and today we are getting together for short-term trading purposes. So we'll be looking at the markets in a shorter term, as the title of the session suggests. We'll be looking at intraday trades. Most of the trades will be executed and planned with futures, and some of the trades as well with Forex as well. Very nice to see you all. Very good. We have a disclaimer before we begin, so let's go for it. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Traditive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. And as a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. Good, so we got it. We got the introduction. This was the end of the disclaimer, therefore the session is properly introduced and we are now ready to begin. Okay, and here's our beautiful trade station that we're gonna use for the trades. Okay, now before we also launch the session, there is, let me bring a web browser very quickly. I want to show you a couple of things. So one sec. So yeah, just getting ready the right page here. So I want to point at our main website, which I'm sure all of you know. I want to point as well at the Get Together button, which is in the upper left, which probably I'm pretty sure that all of you know as well. But the reason why I want to go to this place that you know already, that you use in a regular basis to know more about the schedule of our get-together sessions, isn't it? Is because if you look at it, notice that apart from short-term session, sharpening session, longer-term sessions as well, that those are the three types of sessions that we have been conducting. So starting on August 12th, which is next week, we're gonna also conduct a new type of session, which is going to be really, really cool. We are calling those special sessions Vitamin T for trading, of course. And what do you want to do? Well, in a regular basis, like if you take supplements in your everyday diet, if you wish. So you want to take your trading vitamin, your vitamin T in a regular basis to be properly in good shape and properly prepared for the trading sessions. Okay, so what are those vitamin T sessions gonna be about? So those are gonna be short sessions. They're gonna be anywhere between 10 to maximum 20 minutes, very short sessions, straight to the point of a specific subject. Could be trading basics, as you can see, could be trading view setup, could be the methodology could be, the position size is going to be multiple, it's going to be many different types of topics that we will select carefully, little by little, and put it in place. And again, those are sessions that, it would be recommended for you to consume in a regular basis, like your vitamins, isn't it? So that way you have the proper levels of vitamin in your bloodstream and you are ready to trade, okay? Also, talking about those sessions, I want to mention someone who is a very special member of our community. He is responsible for many things, including the name that we use in the time frames that we use to trade. The time frame that where we identify the UFOs to plan our trades is what we call the edge time frame, isn't it? Well, he's the person who came up with that very, very smart terminology, and this is just a little sample of what he does. But you know him, he's part of our community. His name is Brian Binotti. He's with us today as well, and he's gonna be key in driving those vitamin T sessions. Okay, so you'll be able to work with Brian in those sessions as well, and we believe that is gonna be very impactful for the whole community. Okay, guys, so yeah, just make sure you look at your calendar in a regular basis from now on, because as we have said in the past, we are going to be enhancing and improving everything we do. And again, today I am introducing you to vitamin T, vitamin for traders. Anyway, so let's go for the session. Okay, guys, let's go for the session. And please feel free to comment, okay, by the way, because if you have any suggestion that you would like for those sessions or so on, feel free to comment. You can do it now in the chat box. You can also do it via sending an email, okay? Remember, we are here to support you. So the more you communicate with us, the better we know how to support you, okay? Bojan is commenting something about the sound. Could you please, guys, confirm that sound is correct? Everybody with me on the sound? Everybody hears me? Please give me a quick confirmation so I know we are ready to begin. Confirmation for the sound, please. Good here. Okay, good. Wonderful. So, my friends, let's go for it. Okay, and let's go for it means that we're gonna follow this process, isn't it? We're gonna follow this process using futures and Forex, looking for intraday opportunities. Okay, and probably at this point, all of you are familiar with the flowchart. If you're not, make sure you get in touch with us and we'll send you a copy of the flowchart. But very important, because this is the method, this is the process that we're gonna run in order to identify the trading opportunities. Okay, so step one. Okay, we'll start with the S&P 15-minute time frame. That's gonna be our common time frame. What do we have? Prior close is above the average. What else? DMI, it's blue color. So what does that mean? The climate is confirmed. Okay, confirmed climate, it's an up market. So when the climate is confirmed, what do we do? Step two on the flowchart, we switch to the next common time frame, which in this case is 60. And right there, we're gonna activate AutoUFOs looking for our target, which is gonna be the red UFO that shows up here, which is located at 2937.5. Okay, yes, I got it right. 2937.5. That's for the S&P, and this in the 60-minute time frame, meaning that the climate is confirmed. If the climate was not to be confirmed, we would use the 15. Okay, so we go for the next time frame the moment the climate is confirmed. Okay, so now that we know where the direction in which to trade and we know where the final target should be, the next step is to find a good entry. Okay, and to do that, we need to look at the value of the average, which is 2924 something, and look for UFOs that line up with that value. Okay, so 2924, so around 24 here, we got nothing. Around 24 here, we got this UFO ending at 2924. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal, especially because if the market goes down, the average will go down. So instead of 2441, it may be 2400, and certainly at 2400 there is nothing. Okay, so not super ideal. And when looking at the tick chart on the right, well, looking at 24 something, we do have a UFO. Okay, we do have a UFO here. Okay, now we need to be careful, because if we were to use this UFO and do the next step in the flow chart, which is to set the stop, then the stop will need to be below 23 by 1 tick, and that is 22.75, and 22.75 happens to be the next UFO, as you can see. Okay, so in other words, even though the upper UFO on the short time frame is not relevant to us, the tick UFO it's relevant to us, okay, and because it overlaps this other UFO in the short time frame, so we're gonna have to merge them, and when it comes to setting stop, be looking at 21.5 instead of looking at 23, and place the stop 1 tick below, which is going to be 21.25. Okay, so we will place an entry. Okay, what is the top part of this UFO? The top part is 23.75. Well, 23.75 may be just below the average, isn't it? So I would want to enter, you know, slightly above the average. Okay, so slightly above the average would be like 24.5, something like that. Just to give myself a little bit more room, I'll make it 24.75. Okay, so we'll do the entry 24.75. Where the stop will be below 21.5. Okay, so that's gonna be the plan. Okay, and then the last step will be the safety target, which is something I will calculate as I place the order. I don't need, I can do it, you know, by heart if you wish. Okay, so we said 24.75. That's gonna be the entry. So mechanically, I'm using 2 contracts since I am conducting the session. In your cases, of course, you need to calculate your right size, okay? For me, I'm just gonna go with 2 contracts, click on 24.75, knowing that I am using a bracket order with 2 targets and 1 stop. This is also critical for you to keep in mind. So the moment I click, okay, I will now need to adjust my stop to 21.25, okay? Therefore, my safety target will be 28.25, okay, 1 point above, okay, and finally my final target, we said it was going to be 29.37.5 based on the red UFO that we found on the 60-minute time frame. Okay, so here's the trade. Okay, here's the trade. We're gonna be entering in the bottom part of this green UFO, which happens to be the middle part of this green UFO. Stop would go all the way where 21.25 is, which is below this green UFO. I'm just realizing here a mistake I was about to make. 21.25. Yes, 21.25 happens to be the very exact beginning of this UFO. Okay, so this is problematic. Okay, this is problematic because this is putting us in a position where I mean, I need to adapt to what the market gives me, okay? But what I'm gonna do instead is to cancel the trade. Let me explain why. If I was to place my stop in the right location, that would be 19.5, right? 19.5 would be right here. That would be the right location for the stop, which now is in the middle of nowhere there. But notice what's happening now here. It's falling into a green UFO. So then the right location for the stop would be 17.5, which is below that UFO. And if I was to move my stop there, basically what I'm doing is I'm creating all these vertical distance of risk, which again, in one hand is not a big deal, but in the other hand, if you look at the distance you will need to travel to get to your safety target, okay, which is more or less here, it would be kind of almost reaching to the final target. So really that safety target does not act as a safety target at all. You know, it's not really helping to remove the risk of the trade quickly. You know, the more UFOs you group together, the more the risk you have, and therefore the further away your safety target will be, and therefore it's acting less as a risk remover. Is that making sense? It's acting more like a normal target. Okay, so I'm gonna check on the NASDAQ to see if we have a better setup. Again, the trade on the S&P would not be a crazy trade to be taken, but it may not be that convenient because of what I just explained. Okay, so since we got more markets, I'm gonna check on the NASDAQ, okay, and look to see if I got a better opportunity in here. The setup is the same. We have prior close above the average. DMI is blue, so we have a climate which is confirmed. We should be buyers based on the climate analysis. Okay, we should be buyers, so we need to look for an entry. But one second, I'm looking at some of your comments. Target should be 27.25, or maybe I didn't look at it correctly, Bojan. Let me do that again. Sorry, Brian. So I'm just gonna click on this UFO, and yes, I got 37.5. This is where I have the target. It's possible. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I see your next message when you said never mind. No worries, no worries, no worries. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. I also have a question here or a comment from Bojan Jose. Maybe this could be an opportunity to take on the micro. Well, still on the micro, the problem is, as I said, the problem really is not the risk of the trade dollar-wise. This, of course, if your account is too large, you would execute with the micro, and then that's not a problem any longer. But the problem really, to me, was that the safety target, it's so close to the final target that it does not act like the type of tool I want, meaning that we want the safety target to be a risk remover. So now if it's going to take as much time or almost the same amount of time to get to the safety target than the final target, so then you rather take the trade with no safety target, which is okay. If those were your rules, okay, it would not be crazy, okay? And now, you're just riding the whole move with the full size all the way to the end. So again, ideally, you want your safety target to be much closer, okay? By the way, I'm going to add one more comment as well to you, Bojan, and everyone listening as well, even though specifically, it's kind of for you, based on some of the trades I've seen you have taken. I've noticed that at times you have shared with us in the session that you've been planning trades on the reactive timeframes, okay, right here on the bottom right, and so instead of using the edge time frame above, you have been executing some trades on the reactive timeframes, and some of the trades work well, isn't it? And of course, because you have the UFOs, you have the climate, so those trades could work well. And there is an additional advantage of using reactive timeframes, which is the fact that the distance between entry and stop is very little, and therefore reaching the safety target, it's many times almost immediate, okay, or well, maybe not immediate, but quite quick, right? And therefore you remove the risk very quickly. Okay, now your probability will be less, okay, because you are dealing with smaller pile of orders, and therefore the process that we run is edge timeframes. Okay, but since your question had to do with that, so I wanted to make this comment to you, so you understand the point when it comes to why I'm not too happy when I see my safety target too far away. Okay, because then it removes that. As you are describing perfectly in your last comment, it removes the possibility to be in a free trade almost all the time, okay? Got it. So anyway, let's continue. So we have a confirmed climate. The moving average for the NASDAQ is pointing at 71.82. 71.82 is right there, and we do have a UFO. Do we have any other 82? So let's take a look, because this goes all the way to 78.25, and 78.25 is the same 78.25 here. Okay, got it. And here in the middle we got nothing. Okay, around 82 we got nothing. Okay, so what is the top of this UFO? The top of this UFO is 84.25, and what is the top of this UFO? 83.25. Okay, so I'm gonna go for 83.25. Okay, just shaving a little bit of risk of the trade. Okay, you could use the top of this one, which is 1 point higher, but since the inner circle, which is where we find the greatest concentration of orders, is located at 82, then you know what, I'm okay going for the top of this one, which is a little lower. Okay, it's 83.25, and that would be my entry. Okay, so 73.80. Let me say that again, 76.83.25, okay? 76.83.25, that would be the entry. For targets, because the climate is confirmed, we're gonna have to look at the 60-minute time frame. We also have a red UFO waiting for us. Let's see how far it is. It's looking like a nice distance for an intraday trade. So we are looking at 27.5. Okay, that would be the one for the NASDAQ in the 60-minute time frame. Okay, 77.27.5. Again, remember, that's important. I am using the 60-minute time frame to do this, because being the climate confirmed, we go, as the flow chart suggests, we go for the next common time frame. Okay, we don't use the same one. Okay, we use the next one. Okay. Anyway, so just wanted to clarify this point. Okay, so we basically got everything we need to know to be able to put this trade in place. Okay, so I'm gonna go mechanically with 2 contracts. In your case, please, as always, calculate the size. Okay, based on the process that we covered in the sharpening sessions. I'm gonna go long with 2 limits, 1 stop. Okay, that's the plan for the trade. And the entry we said was going to be 7683.25. The stopping points, okay, they're gonna be in both cases we're at 78.25 and 78.25. So the stopping points are going to be 76.78.00, which is 1 tick below than 0.25 is 1 tick below. So 76.78. Okay, those are gonna be your stopping points. And then for the final target, we said it was going to be 7727.5. And therefore, the only thing left for me to calculate is the distance from entry to stop. Okay, let's bring a calculator very quickly. So entry 7683.25 and stop we said 76.78. So we're talking about 5 points, 5.25 points. So if I add these to the entry, being the entry 7683.25, this would bring my safety target up to 88.5. Okay, so 88.5, that would be my safety target. Okay, so I'm going to place the order. The NASDAQ seems to be falling, so we may get a fill. Okay, we're just not too far away from the entry. Okay, 87.5 is the current price. The entry is 83.25, so not too far away from the entry. Okay, and if it gets there, we will get filled. Okay, visual confirmation to confirm that my stop is on the white space. My stop is on the white space as well here, and my stop is also on the white space here. In other words, the stopping point is not falling inside of another UFO. Okay, so that's very important for us to be safe. Okay. Yeah, so again, looking at everything again, the average is 81. We are getting into the trade between 83.78, so 81 is in between. Yeah, everything looking good. So in this one, we just need to wait for us to get a fill. How is it going on your side, guys? Anyone following this? Anyone placing the order as well? Please let me know. And remember, if you are new to this process and you're still in the learning stages, developing your confidence, one way to do that more efficiently is to take this trade with paper money. Of course, it's not real money, it's not exactly the same, but certainly it will help you to internalize the process and develop that confidence, okay? Bojan, Jose, there is an opportunity in the JY as well, climate is up, very good. Bojan, good to know. Again, at this moment in time, I'm still dealing in the sessions with S&P and NASDAQ. Good news is that into the next month we will begin with more markets as well, okay? But for now I'm still dealing with S&P and NASDAQ, okay? And one of the reasons too is because, you know, this weekend when we do sharpening, we'll go over the new auto climate analysis technique, and this will also shorten a little bit the time that we need to plan the trades. I mean, we are doing it quite quickly already, to be honest. And if we spend sometimes it's because, you know, I gave you additional explanations. And of course, when it takes more time to do it while you talk about it than if you just do it. But with the auto climate, we will also save additional time. Okay, so the idea is efficiency, and I will certainly be adding markets little by little. And as we get to understand those markets, we will add them. The process will be the same, but the point values will be different. Some markets are more volatile than others. Some markets have opening and closing times that are different than others. So there are certain things that I need to explain just to make sure we are all safe, okay? Some of you, Bojan, for example, Brian, for example, I know you guys know everything you need to know about the futures contracts and the futures characteristics, so you can certainly do it on your own, okay? But I'll be also guiding everyone with those other opportunities, okay? Very good. So Geneva, order placed, Dirk as well, Lisa too. I love it, okay? I love it. D'Hide, order confidently placed. I love it, okay? We are very much in tune, okay? And if you don't know what D'Hide means with that, it means that you missed Bojan's session the other day. And you should run and watch it, okay? So because it's such an important session for you to watch, okay? So anyway, love it, okay? Teamwork, working on this together, no subjectivity, okay? No subjectivity, everything is according to plan. The plan is designed to give us an edge. So market, please come to us. That's it, that's what we need, okay? Take a look at the S&P because we had a new close a few minutes ago, so I want to revalidate what do we have. So let me see. Yeah, we have the same situation. The average now is just a little higher than before. Okay, but still, we'll be pointing at this UFO. If we point at this UFO, the bottom part is lining up with that UFO. If we point at this UFO, the bottom part is lining with this UFO. And if we point at this UFO, the bottom part is lining up with that UFO. And if we point at that UFO, the bottom part, I believe, is lining with that UFO. And therefore, you know, it's too many UFOs grouped, increasing too much the risk, okay? A different story will be if the average goes back higher, maybe in the next close, which is going to happen in 6 minutes from now. And it's always good to be ready and anticipate if this happens, so you're ready to plan the trade and execute. So if the average really moves up, okay, then maybe we can only lean against maybe a higher UFO that just forms or something like that, and then we can be okay. But at this moment in time, we have too many group UFOs. It's not the best trade at all. It would not be crazy, but it's not the best trade, okay, because of what I said before. Good. So NASDAQ doing its thing, okay. Let's talk a little bit about trading psychology as you are watching this, okay, especially if you have limited experience in trading. So probably what happens is that you place the order and now you see the NASDAQ is moving your way, but you didn't get filled. Okay, so how does that make you feel? Probably you start feeling like, oh my God, it's just gonna break out, you know, or things like that, right? And you may have this temptation, you know, I'm just gonna take it, that's it, right? And you chase the trade, something like that. Please make sure you don't do that, okay? Let's be disciplined, let's be diligent, let's be mechanical, let's be professional overall, okay? And the good news is that the more the market goes up before it comes back to your L2 line, okay, which is the entry, the more sell on field orders it has removed. So the more it goes up before it falls, the easier it should be for the market to start moving towards your target. Okay, so let it remove sell orders. Give it time for the market to come back to your UFO. Okay, don't be impatient. Just let the market do its thing, because right now, as we speak, it's removing sell on field orders. Okay, it's kind of like cleaning the path. So later on, when you get filled, you have a higher probability that it's gonna move higher faster because the path has been cleaned up. Okay, so let it do its thing. Okay, and if we don't get the fill, because in the end it really breaks up and it really moves strongly to the upside, well, this will produce new UFOs that will line up with the average that will be recalculated in 6 minutes and will be higher. So you will be able to replan a new trade with a new UFO, okay? So please, management of those emotions, okay? Everybody, okay? Keep cool, follow the plan, don't divert from the plan. And this is what we do as professional traders, okay? Good, so very good. So we got 4 minutes, okay? 4 minutes before the market will open. And therefore, in those 4 minutes, I'm gonna start getting prepared. You are guessing it right. I'm gonna launch some Forex charts. So we start getting ready with the Forex charts. Bojan said, side note, someone strapped a rocket to crude oil plus 3%. Wow, yeah. And again, I cannot wait to add markets such as crude oil in the sessions, guys, okay? Because nothing wrong with the S&P and the NASDAQ. They are fantastic markets too, okay? But crude oil has a higher price point and a higher volatility. So once you have reached a level of confidence, applying the methodology to markets that move faster will make you more money, isn't it? It's what I just said. I believe it's just common sense. But of course, you do need the confidence not to make mistakes, because when the markets move faster, they will also trigger more doubts or more sensitivity towards emotions. And that, as you all know, can be a dangerous thing unless you have it under control. And you will have it under control as you practice it, okay? So make sure you practice it properly, and you practice it first with paper money if you haven't traded those fast markets, okay? So let's begin looking at Forex. We have our beautiful trading view in front of us. We have the list of majors. The setups I'm using right now is 60 minutes for the common time frame, 8 minutes and 8 range for the edge time frame. Okay, and I'm gonna start with the top of the list with the Australian dollar to see if we got opportunities or we don't. Okay, so the Australian dollar closing above the average with a blue DMI, that's an up climate. Okay, and certainly we have a UFO lining up with the average right here, right now. But I guess you agree with me that this is such a wide UFO. So by default, this will create a a lot of risk, and therefore we have the problem that I just described a few minutes ago with the S&P, where your safety target is going to be far away because your risk is wide. Okay, and therefore I'm not saying we cannot plan a trade on it, but I'm saying that maybe it's a better choice to look at other currencies that may give us a better opportunities. Okay, so euro close above the average, but the climate is not confirmed with a red DMI. So not confirmed climate. Okay, based on the flow chart, you can certainly take the trade using the same common time frame to set your final target. You could certainly do that. Okay, but that's optional. And because we have many currencies, I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna go for the pound to see if the pound give us an opportunity, and then I'll plan the trade with the pound. I prefer to use a confirmed climate. It gives you a little bit more odds, and at the same time probably a little bit of a further away target, which gives you also a little more money to be made. Okay, so more money to be made together with a little more probability to make that money, it's something to be welcome. Okay, now because the market just opened, I'm going to come back to the S&P and the NASDAQ, see how things are going. And yeah, so let me see. So what do we have? So NASDAQ got an average around 85. Our entry is around 83. Okay, so we may have a risk of missing the trade. Okay, I'm buying below the average. So the top of this one is 84.25, and therefore I'm gonna be changing the entry to 84.25. Okay, so I minimize the probability of missing on this trade, because if the NASDAQ goes down, it will move the average down from 85 to 84 something. Now, if I do what I just said, let me reconfirm. I said 84.25. So if I do 84.25 and my stop is 78, that's 6.25. So my safety target would need to be located at 90.5. Okay, so here we go. Let's use the matrix. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, move down to 76. Here we go, 76, 84, 25. We have it, and then my safety target is gonna be 90.5. I have it. Okay, so I have a rectified entry and safety target. Everything is now cool, and now yes, NASDAQ, keep falling the way you are. Come to us. There is a lot of sell orders being removed in this move up. If it comes to us, to our entry, it should be quite easy to get to safety target. Okay, but we just need to come. We just need it to come down. Okay, let me double check as well my final target. That should be 27.5. Yes, it's still 27.5. So everything is good. And please, NASDAQ, come to us. Okay, so bouncing from this UFO like it's a normal thing, especially in an up climate. So give it time. Okay, give it time for this bounce to happen, and then it will come back. A new red UFO has been formed here. Okay, so this hopefully will bring the price down. So come on, NASDAQ, come to us. Checking the S&P. The S&P had a recalculated average of 25.7. 25.7 would allow us to use this one. But again, if we use this one, we have the same problem I said before. We got grouped UFOs. So no trade on the S&P until 15 minutes from now. We will reevaluate that one. For now, we are just waiting for the NASDAQ to come to our entry, which has been rectified to 84.25, and the safety target rectified to 90.5. Okay. You guys with me? Please confirm to me that you have been able to rectify this trade, rectify the entry price and the safety target price. Okay, we are readapting to the real-time market conditions. Okay, so you could certainly leave the orders where they were, but remember, the nature of the market is dynamic. Everything can change in an instant, and therefore for us an instance is 15 minutes, isn't it? That's our climate refresher, and therefore we need to make sure that we are in line with the updated climate at all times. Okay, so Lisa did it, very good. So again, NASDAQ, come to us. Okay, we are waiting for you. We're welcoming you to come visit us, and we will buy you long. Good. So while we're waiting for this to happen, okay, back to work. Okay, no need, I mean, you could find yourself staring at the candles. Okay, and I mean, I could understand, especially if you are trading this methodology for not too long, you may be a little anxious or you want to know what happens. Please make sure you get this under control. Okay, train yourself to behave like this is normal, because it's normal. Doesn't matter if you profit or you lose. Whatever happens is part of your plan. If you profit, congratulations. If you lose, congratulations as well for following the rules of the plan the way you should. Okay, so it's okay, not a big deal. Don't find yourself staring at the candles, okay, like it's an obsession, because then it would be a problem, like an obsession would be. Okay, so just let it go, be in peace with the market and with yourself and with the plan. So what do we have with the pound? The pound has a close below the average. The MI is red. We have a confirmed down market on the pound, and therefore planning on short trades would make sense. 120.97 it's the value for the average, and 120.97 happens to fall at the very end of this UFO. So not in love when we are entering trades very deep in the UFOs, okay? But given the decentralized nature of the market, we normally add 2 + 5 pips for a buy stop, isn't it? So the stop would fall into the next UFO, and therefore the real stop would be above that one. So you could certainly merge those two UFOs and treat it as one, okay? And since we got the greatest concentration of orders at this price, which is just a little below 98, okay, that may be 96, 95, let's see how much that is. So this is like 92. So we're gonna place an order around 92, okay, to short the pound, okay? And what I need to do is find a good target for that, okay? So quick look at the S&P, okay? So the S&P pushing hard to the upside. So if this move continues like that, okay, in 10 minutes when we have the update, of course the average will be much higher, and therefore the average will likely be pointing at those new UFOs that just formed. So then we will cancel the trade at 84, and we will replace it with the new values above. But for now, we do nothing. Don't do it yet, okay? Don't do speeding. If you do speeding, you do tickets. You get tickets, so just follow the methodology, okay? And remember, when something moves very fast in one way, it often moves just as fast in the opposite way. That's why we have the too far, too fast trailing stop trade management rule, isn't it? So we can stare the candles down if we all do it. Yes, you're right, dear. I agree with you. The problem is that because we got 10-second delay with the YouTube, then it would not work. Okay, if the YouTube had no delay, then it would work. We can, we can get all together and do it. Anyway, so remember, when a market moves very fast in one direction, it often moves in the same speed in the opposite direction. So don't be surprised if you get filled in 2 minutes from now. Okay, and these things happen. So we have the order in place. Again, stick to the plan religiously. So back to the pound, we are looking at targets. Okay, to look at the target, I'm gonna disable the EMA. I don't need it. Enable the AutoUFOs app. But remember, we need to look at the target in the next. Okay, we're gonna have to use the next common time frame, which is 4 hours. Okay, so I'm loading the 4-hour time frame on the pound, maximizing this. Okay, again, the pound has been falling like a rock, so it's very low. I don't even know if in the 4-hour time frame we'll be able to find green UFOs. Okay, because I'm loading all the amount of data available in the TradingView network. Okay, and we may or we may not see a UFO. Okay, so we don't have anything green below. Okay, and this obviously puts us in a situation where the only way would be to go for the next one, okay, which is the daily time frame. And still nothing. Okay, so I just want to make sure when I click on the plus and minus sign just to force TradingView to load everything they have in their database. Still nothing. And by the way, it makes sense, okay, because all those pivot lows. These are traditional supports used in the world of market analysis, but this is not on field orders to buy, so the app is not finding anything. So if I move to the weekly, we got nothing either. If I move to the monthly, we have nothing as well. Okay, so again, maybe you are using a different platform and you have more market data, but with the data I have, okay, there is nothing. Okay, and if there is nothing, certainly the way to treat this trade, I'm going to give you two choices, is either you pass, okay, which I'm going to suggest not to pass, or the other way to deal with the trade would be to pretend the Great British Pound is making all-time low, which is not making all-time low, but kind of, because there is no buy on field orders below, so it's kind of like it has plenty of room to fall. And therefore, instead of setting a final target, just keep trailing stop, and whatever you get stopped out, you will have maximized your profit this way, okay? So looking at the NASDAQ, we're gonna have an update in the climate in 6 minutes. Real strong push to the upside, many points in no time. Strong launch at the market open. Okay, so just waiting for it to come back. So very likely we will have a cancellation of this trade and replanning of the trade with the next update for the climate in 6 minutes from now. Okay, guys, we'll do this together, and that's perfect time because this gives me time to put all the parameters of the trade on the screen. So let's go for it. Okay, so we're gonna have a stop loss order on the very top. The stop loss will be pointing at the 121.12.7, right? That's the top of the red UFO on the 8-minute time frame, isn't it? So 12.7, we normally round it to 13, and then because it's a stop, we need to add 5, so that would be 18, and then because it's a buy order, we also normally add 2, isn't it? So then the stop will be 121.20. That would be the location for the stop. The short entry, okay, the short entry will be located, as we said before, 120.92. That was the price that we selected earlier, okay? 120.92. Therefore, we got 28 pips of risk, and that would set your safety target. Oh, sorry. 92, that would set your safety target to be located 28 pips below 120.92. Okay, so 28 pips below, that would be, if I'm not mistaken, 64. Okay, it would be 64, 120.64. And the only thing left would be the final target. And as we said, for the final target for this trade, we will simply not use it, and we will just keep trailing and stop based on evidence, as we have in our flow chart, right? A trail stop based on evidence means that every time new UFOs form, we will keep moving the stop lower and lower and lower, trailing price, in order to maximize the size of the move to be collected. And when you get stopped out, you'll be happy to be stopped out, because that means that the UFO started failing, and therefore we may have a change of climate, okay? And therefore you want to be out before that happens, okay? So that's the plan. Hopefully you had time for a screenshot. I am now coming back into the equity markets and getting ready to replan on a trade. Okay, so what do we have here? Comments from you guys. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, got it. Perfect. So let's continue. So back to the equities. Here we go. So the NASDAQ is falling strong and hard. Nice. Perfect. So just a little more. We got 2 more minutes to go before it comes to our entry, and we will be delighted to take the NASDAQ if it keeps falling like that. Okay, so yeah. Take a look at the S&P just to prepare myself for what's coming. in 2 minutes, which is going to be the new close for the climate. So close above, DMI still blue, 26, okay, 26. So when we have the update, maybe 27. We don't have anything at 27. And if we were to use this one, 25.5 would fall into this one, and then we have the same cascade of UFOs we had before. So, you know, it's not going to be easy to find a trade on the S&P unless new UFOs form at a strategic point with a new value of the average further away from where it is now, okay? So we need to wait to see what's going to happen on the NASDAQ. We just have a few seconds to wait until we see the new update, okay? We got like 45 seconds to go, and we got 85 point something, so I would expect the update to bring it a little higher. So if it brings it a little higher, okay, and our entry is at 84, so then we have a problem, okay? We have a problem, which is that we may be buying below the average, and therefore I'm going to have to very quickly move to the right where the cancel button is and cancel the trade, okay? So what I would love to see, and it may happen, is that in the 15 seconds that we have left, we have a major sell-off and we get filled before the update. Okay, because the moment we got the update, my eye is going to be looking at this value. That's it. It's 86 something. It's way above, so I'm going to have to canceling the order very quickly. Okay, canceling the order, because if I get filled, it's not meeting my rules, okay? The average is 85, the UFO is much lower. Notice how we already touched the average and the UFO is much lower. We cannot enter this trade because it would be against the rules, okay? So, yeah, so sad to see, okay? If this move down had happened just a little faster, we would be potentially in a trade, or almost in a trade, but it didn't, so no trade. And even though I said sad to see, well, believe me, I'm not crying, okay? So this is part of trading. It's a normal thing. I was just using the English language, okay? Please don't feel sad. Anyway, so S&P and the NASDAQ is not providing any opportunity for us at the moment, since the value of the average does not have any value of UFOs lining up. Of course, you know, this may change in an instant. So I don't know, 5 minutes from now, we may have, look at that, a new UFO just formed. That one formed from 94 to 88. Unfortunately, that is above 87. Okay, so that one is not valid. But if the S&P, sorry, if the NASDAQ falls down again and then builds a new UFO down here and goes back up, so then that's it. We got a trade to be planned and to be executed. Okay, so we need to watch for this because it could happen quite quickly, as you just saw. In the S&P, what do we have? We have a UFO that formed 28.27. Again, problem. The average is 26, so that one is all the way above, and that one as well. Okay, so little bit of a teaser, this S&P today with us, and the NASDAQ was not teasing us, but now it's teasing us too, in the sense that it's flashing some UFOs, but not in the right place where we need them. Okay, so we just go with the flow and let the market do its thing until it gives us a UFO in the right location. Okay, that's it. So anyway, so in the meantime, let's go back to the currencies, and I'll come back in a minute, and we will continue looking at those markets. So we got a trade on the pound. Okay, we got that one already ready. Now it's time for the Kiwi. So looking at the Kiwi, close above the average, DMI flashing blue, climate is confirmed. We have an up climate. Okay, unfortunately, when it comes to average, it's pointing at 64.90. And the olive green UFO is showing up at 73, which is much lower. So no trade with the Kiwi. Canadian dollar is moving. Okay, please, Canadian dollar update, so we know what direction in which you're moving at. Okay, so here's the Canadian dollar. Well, no trade at the moment. Okay, so we have close above. Okay, but now we are below the average, so there is a it seems that this green UFO here has been extremely powerful, creating a massive change of climate in the Canadian dollar. So we'll need to look at this chart when the candle closes and replan the trade probably in the opposite direction, but not yet. So loading the Swiss franc in the meantime, quick look at the equities. Okay, so hey, we got to our UFO, okay, but we are below the average, okay? So price is below the average when it gets there, okay? So, you know, it was not the right call. S&P, yeah, S&P would give us a trade, but with all those group UFOs, I said it many times already, we will not have it, okay? Okay, so back to the currencies. So we are looking at the Swiss franc doing the same thing the Canadian dollar was doing, just backwards. So it was closing below, but now it's above. So we check the yen. So closes below, DMI is red, therefore the climate is confirmed. We have a climate pointing down. We have average pointing at 83. We have a red UFO in the range time frame pointing at 83. Okay, but that UFO is only 1 pip wide. I think we all understand we cannot take this trade, right? Because in a decentralized market where different brokers may have slightly different prices, well, if we were to execute this trade, we are really putting ourselves at risk to just enter and be stopped out and then see it going, because you know, we need to give a little bit of breathing room to those UFOs. Okay, so we cannot do it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is look at the same markets. Okay, but now we're gonna look at those markets with a different type of time frames. We're gonna be looking at 4 hour combined with 21. Okay, 4 hours combined with 21. This is gonna be the plan in this case. Okay, so that's the plan. So what do we have? Let's begin with the Aussie. Quick look at the S&P as well. Okay, yeah. So notice again, this movement is not done yet. Okay, but remember earlier when I told you when something's move fast in one direction, it moves fast in the other direction. Well, if you didn't hear this before or you never seen this before, that's a good lesson for today. Okay, that's something that you will remember, because I think this chart is quite visual. The other thing that we are learning from this market movement is what a lesson, the importance of following the rules. Okay, because what happens? Notice how most of the unfilled orders in this UFO has been filled. It went almost all the way to the very bottom. Okay, and the UFO that was above, that was going to be our entry, by the way, didn't work. And why is it that it didn't work? Because those orders were cancelled. Okay, and why are those orders being cancelled? Because notice how the climate is changing. Okay, when we have an update, okay, we are likely to close below the average, and therefore, you know, when the climate is down, institutions tend to add sell orders and remove the buy orders, and vice versa. When the climate is up, the large market players are likely to add buy orders and remove sell on field orders. Is that making sense? So again, this is the importance of following the rules. Okay, and I think this chart speaks for itself. Okay, we just save ourselves a non-profitable trade, and on top of that, we are learning 2 very valuable lessons here by watching the chart. Same thing is happening with the S&P. Okay, a new UFO form. So you could argue I can take the trade, but this UFO is below 25, which is the average. So if you were to take the trade, you are against the climate. Is that making sense? So we cannot do that. We need the UFO to be lining up with the average. Okay, so again, no trade. Okay, in this time frame. Okay, no trade. In other time frames, for sure, there would be some trade, but in these time frames for intraday trading, no trade for now. I'm sure a few minutes later we'll have our trade. Okay, like it happens every day. So Aussie dollar prior close is above, DMI is red. So we have a contradiction, non-confirmed climate. So we're gonna go for the next one. The euro close is above, DMI is blue. Okay, but we are now challenging the EMA and there is no green UFO. So we're just gonna go for the pound. The pound confirms the same thing we saw on the 60-minute time frame, where we have a close below with the red DMI. Okay, the average is 111.12, 121.12. It happens to be the top part of this UFO. So very similar setup to what we have in the 60, and because we have already in the 60, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the New Zealand dollar, but I would say that probably it would be even a better idea, and I will leave this to you as a homework. It will be a better idea that you plan this trade as well with the pound, with the 4-hour time frame setup, and then what you do is that you take the trade with a 60-minute setup with half the size that you would normally use, and you take the trade with the 4-hour setup with half the size of what you normally do. And that way, you are not taking double the risk with the pound, but if one of the trades stops you out, the other one is even more likely to work out for you now. Does that make sense? And if one trade works, if the 60-minute trade works, that means that you would miss the 4-hour, but at least you made some profit instead of just wait on the 4-hour time frame and you never got filled. Okay, so just a little suggestion there for when you deal with multiple time frames. Okay, and yes, D-Hide, those rules are there to give us an edge, and this not only means probability of profit but also protection, as you said very well. Okay, so good one. New Zealand dollar, so we have a close above the average, but the DMI being red, we have a contradiction, so we'll skip that one. Looking at the loonie Canadian dollar, close above, but now we are below. We saw this major move earlier in the 60-minute time frame too. We can also see it in the 4-hour. Looking at the Swissy, so the Swissy may be giving us a trade. Actually, we do. Yes, we do. So with the Swiss franc, we have a close below. With the DMI being red, that's a confirmed climate going down. Okay, and the current average is located, as you can see here on the upper left, 97.41, which lines up beautifully with this red UFO. So guys, we have a trade, and this trade is, by the way, about to be executed. Okay, so I'm just checking on the climate. Yeah, nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened yet. Yeah, we're still waiting for 5 more minutes to see the closing price of that 15-minute time frame candle. Okay, so what are we gonna do? So we have a confirmed climate. So disable the EMA, enable AutoUFOs, and go for the next common time frame, which is the daily. Okay, which is the daily. Going to the daily. Okay, maximizing. Okay, and what do we have when looking at the daily? Well, when looking at the daily, okay, we have 97.1. It's the current UFO, okay, and it's olive color. Okay, it's olive color, which means that it's still a UFO to be taken into consideration. Okay, so that doesn't make me too happy, in the sense that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, based on the values I saw before, this UFO is a little close, and unless our entry UFO is quite narrow, we may have to risk on the trade, too much risk on the trade, and therefore our safety target will be too far away, too close to the final target. Okay, again, this is what I'm thinking, but maybe I'm totally wrong. So it's always worth it to not to think too much and do the math and see what happens. So 97.02, okay, as you can see, would be the value for this UFO. Because it's a buy order, we have 2, so it would be 97.04. That would be the final target value. Okay, so going back to again, activation of the EMA, deactivation of AutoUFOs, going back to the 4-hour time frame, and the proper scaling. Okay, so we know our average is located, as I said before, around 41, and this is 41.48. You know what? It's not going to be the trade of the year, but it may work. Okay, so let's do the math. Okay, and as I put it on the screen, we will have the final confirmation to confirm if this trade works or it doesn't. Okay, so the stop loss, this is also a short trade, so same as before. The stop loss would be located above 0.9748. Okay, but because it's a buy order, we had 2, so that would make it 50, and because it's a stop, we have 5, so that would make it 55. If 55 is the stop and the short entry happens to be 0.9741, that means I am in a trade with 14 pips of risk. So 14 pips of risk, it was going to set my target below at 0.97. So if I do 14, that would be 27. Am I doing this right? 27, yes. So 0.8727, that would be the final target, sorry, the safety target, and the final target would be located below that, okay? So we can certainly execute this trade. Again, it's not the trade of the year, but it would be 97.04 based on what we saw earlier, okay? So these are the parameters for the trade. If you want to take a screenshot, this would be your time, okay? And know that we are basically like 2 pips away from entry. So you may get executed really in no time, okay? You may get executed right now, okay? So I believe that you probably had time enough to take the screenshot, okay? And therefore I'm gonna go back to the chart without the freezing of the screen. So yeah, we are 1.4 pips away from the entry, guys, okay? So this is a trade for you to execute. If you trade Forex, this is the time, okay? If you are new to Forex or you are new to the methodology and the flow chart, use paper money, guys, but give yourself the opportunity to learn and to grow with the method, okay? So what else do we have? So we are reaching the top of the hour, so the session will be concluded very soon, but I don't want to conclude the session without reviewing those equity index markets. And if there is a trade, I would like to put it together for you guys. Okay, so what do we have? 10 seconds of waiting time is what we need to be able to see the new update. So I'm expecting, here we go, we got the update. So yes, so we do have indeed a close below the average. So change of climate, even though the climate is not confirmed. Okay, blue DMI closes below. Contradiction. Contradiction means not confirmed. Okay, so that means that if it's not confirmed, when taking profits, you're gonna have to use the 15-minute time frame to find your UFOs. Okay, not the 60, the 15, and this would place the target located at 75.78. That would be the target for the NASDAQ, assuming we have a good entry. So let's go take a look at the entries. We need an entry around 81. So 81 is here, nothing on this time frame. 81 is here, nothing on this time frame. 81 is here, nothing on the time frame. Okay, so we got nothing on the NASDAQ, no entry at the moment. But again, just watch it, guys, because just like this UFO just formed as we speak, a new UFO may form in a minute. Okay, and if you are a little more patient, okay, probably even better. If you let the NASDAQ fall a little more, so that blue DMI becomes red on the next candle, which is 15 minutes from now, and then you can plan trades with a little more odds in your favor. Look at that, another UFO just formed. Okay, so certainly the climate seems to be defining itself more, so we are likely going to have some red showing up in the next candle. Okay, I will not be there with you guys, but I'm giving you the instruction because the session will be concluded at that time. So what do we have with the S&P? Same story. Closes below, DMI is blue. So the climate is down, but is not fully confirmed. So what do? We will need to go for this very close target located at 29.20. So 29.20 would be the target for the S&P. It's looking quite close if the entry is the current price, which is 29.22, which is only 2 points away. So that would not be worth it. Okay, but our entry, where should our entry be? Around 25. So 25, nothing here. 25, nothing there. 25, nothing there. What an interesting beginning of the day. Okay, so yeah, so guys, these are the instructions. Okay, quite clear. Well, the instructions are always the same. Follow the flowchart, but just to be a little more concrete, the instructions are: wait 13 minutes. Once you have this new close, you will have a new value for the EMA, probably new UFOs. Hopefully the DMI is red, so you have a confirmed climate that will allow you to shoot for just a little bit more profits and a little bit more probability, and therefore you then plan the trade and you go for it. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so that's the plan. That's the plan for the trades. Okay, and you can see those UFOs. They could certainly work. Okay, they could certainly work. Red UFO in a down climate, but again, the climate is not confirmed. The UFO is not lining up with the average. Okay, just like this one here. Okay, it's a reactive UFO. It worked. Okay, but again, not confirmed climate, not lining up with the average. So you have less odds. Okay, so you need to experience all of these to understand who you are as a trader. Okay, and my philosophy when I conduct the session for you guys is to make you as safe as possible. Okay, and therefore that's why I said wait 12 minutes now until you have a confirmed climate. Okay, because notice how this UFO is being taken out. Okay, why is that? Well, we got some bounce, but why is it going up now? Well, because the climate is not confirmed. You still have signs of blue, and 12 minutes from now, guess what? You may have a close above the average. Okay, so again, the rules are to keep you on the right side of the market. Okay, very good, everyone. My friends, pleasure seeing you in the session. Pleasure conducting the session. Pleasure being ready to trade with you today. Unfortunately, we didn't execute any trade live. But we kept safe, okay, and you got many more hours of market open, so I'm sure you'll be able to find opportunities on your own. Okay, again, I want to re-emphasize one more time, and please help me to say thank you publicly to Brian, even though we have not enjoyed his sessions live yet. Okay, but help me to say thank you, because the passion he's putting into what he's gonna do for you all guys is amazing with those vitamin T lessons. Okay, vitamin T sessions, guys. Okay, so I want to show this again just in case you came to the session late. In our website, okay, in our website tradewithufos.com, we got a get together button. Okay, and notice that we have vitamin T. Those are gonna be straight to the point, short sessions, 10 to 20 minutes, let's call it 15 minutes, to deal with very specific topics. Okay, and we are welcoming you as well to send your suggestions for the topics, okay, based on your needs. Okay, even though we have ideas of what could be useful for the community and we're working hard on that, we are certainly welcoming your suggestions too. Okay, guys, so Brian, very, very, very excited to see you there on the next week on the Monday 12, 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. But before we get there, okay, we will still have the sharpening session that we'll do over the weekend, where I'll get you all onboarded and knowing very well how to use AutoClimate. And therefore, on Monday 12, we will be same Monday as Brian, but instead of 7 p.m., 9 a.m., we'll be doing short term with the AutoClimate, and from there we will inject vitamins. Vitamin T is the trading vitamin. We will inject vitamins into our trading as well. Okay, guys, so super excited, super excited. Hopefully you are too, and we'll see you soon, my friends. See you then. Bye everyone. Take care, everyone.